Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam Shapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamaya Dadatrisha Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatavara Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatan Saganadaganatan Vitam Sajivam Advaitam Sadvarutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsya He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vinda Vineshwari Vishwavanu Stuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tirubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, text, chapter 23, text 54. Just let me get it 1 second. Devahuti's Lamentation, text 24. Is that right? What text is it? 24? Huh? 5-4. Indriyatesu sajjantya Indriyatesu jajjantya Prasangas tvai me kritaha Prasangas tvai me kritaha Ajanatya param bhavam Ajanatya param bhavam Tapatyas svabhyaya yame Tatapyas vastvabhaya me Indriyatesu sajantya Prasangas tvayime kritaha Ajanataya param bhavam Tatapyastva abhayaya me. Bolo. Somebody wants to try it? Sangas tvayime kritaha Priyantas param bhavam Svabhavaya me Intyate susasantya Utangas tvayime kritaha Adanatya param bhavam Tasvyasva babhayame. Mataji's? Indriyate yagaja Sangastvai mekitaha Tanjatya param bhavam Tatyaste Shivanyame Indriyatesu sajantatya Pasangastvai mekitaha Ajanatya param bhavam Tapyatva abhayayame Indriyatesu punyasya Pasangastvai mekitaha Ajantatya param bhavam Tapya Indriyatesu to sense gratification. Sajantya, being attached. Prasangaha, affinity. Tvai, for you. Me, by me. Kritaha, was done. Ajanatya, not knowing. Parambhavam, your transcendental situation. Atapi, nonetheless. Astu, let it be. Abhyaya, abhaya, for fearlessness. May, my. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of the senses. Nevertheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. Oh, that's right, we don't have to translate. Everybody knows English, right? So, Devahuti is very intelligent. She's understanding that the best thing is spiritual life. So it's very fortunate one can come to that understanding. We see in our preaching efforts that it takes a while before, but to speak of others, what about ourselves? So we have to really understand this point that the real interest should be to make spiritual progress. This human form of life is that opportunity is there. If we don't take it, then we become again back to the material world, maybe in the human life or maybe not, depending on our karma. So we should take advantage. Everything is favorable. We have Srila Prabhupada. We have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They're offering us a very easy path to qualify to enter the spiritual world. So why not get serious about it? And then Krishna will reciprocate. As we surrender, as we show our determination, Krishna will reciprocate. That's a fact. Purport. Devahuti is lamenting her position. As a woman, she had to have someone to love. She had to love someone. Somehow or other, she came to love Kadama Muni, but without knowing of his spiritual advancement. Kadama Muni could understand Devahuti's heart. Generally, all women desire material enjoyment. They are called less intelligent because they are mostly prone to material enjoyment. Devahuti laments because her husband had given her the best kind of material enjoyment, but she did not know that he was so advanced in spiritual realization. Her plea was that even though she did not know the glories of her great husband, because she had taken shelter of him, she must be delivered from material entanglement. Association with a great personality is most important. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, Sadhu Sangha. The association of a great saintly person is very important, because even if one is not advanced in knowledge, simply by association with a great saintly person, one can immediately make considerable advancement in spiritual life. As a woman, as an ordinary wife, Devahuti became attached to Kadamba Muni in order to satisfy her sense enjoyment and other material necessities. But actually, she associated with a great personality. Now she understood this, and she wanted to utilize the advantage of the association of her great husband. So this is our philosophy. I remember hearing a story, maybe Malati can confirm it's true or not, that once Prabhupada asked Yamuna that, so you accept this idea that women are less intelligent and so on? And Yamuna said, yes, I have no problem. And Prabhupada said, yes, if you think you're a woman, you're less intelligent. So why do you have to think you're a woman? You're a spirit soul. You may be in a woman's body, but you're the spirit soul. So you can make advancement as fast as anybody. But you have to be able to actually realize it's not just a theory. You have to realize you're not this body. So that's not so easy, generally. Therefore, we're always coming back to the second chapter in the Gita, where Krishna spends 20-something verses telling us we're not this body. He gives so many examples, just like this dress. I'm not this dress. Similarly, the body is changing from boyhood to youth to old age. So in that way, we can be, you can say, grounded in the first principle, that I'm not this body. What is the second principle? Anybody? Thank you. Krishna is God. We have these two informations. If we realize them, then the future is very glorious for us. From any position, just understand these 2 points. I'm not this body, and Krishna is God. And our future is very glorious. Okay? Let's do one more. Sangoya smat titir hetur astasu vihito diya saeva sadhusu krito nisangadvaya kalpate. Translation. Association for sense gratification is certainly the path of bondage, but the same type of association performed with a saintly person leads to the path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. So we're all very fortunate. We are connected with Srila Prabhupada, the established saintly person. Nobody has any doubt, only envious people. Prabhupada is empowered, representative of Krishna, Shaktavesh, to assist Lord Chaitanya in his mission. The prediction was there by Lord Chaitanya that his great general would come and spread this movement all over the world. Once a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya preached this cult of Krishna consciousness, but he didn't go out of the India and Bangladesh or like that. That was all India at the time. But you spread this mission all over the world. How can that be? And Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna wanted to give me the credit. So we should give Prabhupada the credit. And then Krishna will be pleased. This is the process. We please the devotee, then the Lord will be pleased. He's Bhaktavatsal. He's more pleased to see his devotee glorified than he glorify himself. So we have this great, you can say, opportunity. We can glorify Prabhupada. And what's the best way to glorify Prabhupada? Cooperate together and push on his movement. This is his movement. Single-handedly he started it and he established all over. But now, he gave the example of the skyscraper, but now we have to fill in the floors. And we can do that if we cooperate with Prabhupada in the center. Some mistake was made when the Prabhupada first left. Instead of putting Prabhupada in the center, some of the so-called gurus put themselves in the center. And therefore, there was difficulty. So now we've learned that lesson. It's natural. Prabhupada told us, keep the Acharya in the center. We keep Prabhupada in the center, there's no difficulty. Then we can all relate to each other. This generation, next generation, next generation. We're all on the same page. We want to glorify Srila Prabhupada in every way. And then we can all go back to Godhead. What is the problem? Prabhupada is Shiksha Guru for everyone. Not that we're Rikviks, we think that Diksha Guru is required. But Diksha Guru has to understand that he's, what was the term they were using at one point? Like a monitor in a class. The teacher may assign one student to be in charge of the class because he has to leave for some time. So that's one way of looking at it. Some people didn't like that term, monitor guru, but I don't have any problem with it. I don't claim to be at the same level as Prabhupada. I have disciples, but I don't make them think I'm pure, Paramahansa. I just let them understand the truth. I'm also trying to keep Prabhupada in the center, and sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I may fail. But I'm determined to improve, and we can improve, because we have the main weapon. What is that? Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Kalua nasteva nasteva. This is the most powerful process in our japa and in our kirtan. Both ways we can make tangible advancement. Of course, sometimes it's said that kirtan is the strongest angam, and we do like kirtan. Because then it's difficult for the mind to trick us in the middle of the kirtan. We get swept up with it. Last night we had a program at the yoga studio. Is that lady who's in charge? Is she here? Of the yoga? Yeah. So anyway, I had a very good experience there. I was impressed. All these students were so, how many? There must have been about 35 or 40 people. We were all dancing in a circle, and everybody was right. So the kirtan brings us all together. But we shouldn't neglect japa. And the japa should be done properly. Main thing is to hear the mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hear very carefully each syllable. And your mind will take you away, and then bring it back to hearing. Sometimes people would ask Prabhupada, what should we think about when we're chanting? Prabhupada said, think about? No. Just listen, hear. And then you go this side, and again, bring it back to hearing the syllables, Krishna, Hare. And then you'll see, just like Haridas Thakur, he becomes so attached to the chanting he can't stop. Rupa Goswami is praying for millions of ears to hear these two syllables, Krishna, and millions of tongues to vibrate these two syllables, Krishna. So that day can come to us, but we have to take it seriously. Morning is the best time, especially for japa. Kirtan we can do anytime. But the japa, at least from my experience, is if I get my rounds done in the morning, then I have a foundation. Even if I'm alone, we don't have kirtan. But still, if the japa is good, then you can overcome the allurement of Maya. Maya is there. Her duty is to seduce us, to keep us under her control. She's doing that duty, a thankless task, so that the impious or sinful people won't enter into the spiritual world. So this is properly done. We should expect there'll be challenges. Just like the Pandavas, they were so dearly, closely connected with Krishna, but they saw so many problems. Their wife was insulted. They were sent into exile. Don't think it's going to be like so easy every step. We're bound to be challenged. This is Maya's duty. So we can pass that challenge easily if we keep the holy name in the center and serve Prabhupada's mission. So we have ample support and service. Nobody can say we can't serve Prabhupada's mission. Prabhupada's mission requires many men and women. So we talk to people, we preach, use our words. Requires money, so we give money. Srivas is good at congratulating people who give money. They should be congratulated. They're giving money to the right cause. Then what's the next one? Words. We give our words to speak to others about Krishna. Then what was that? I didn't hear you say. I was thinking that those are both important. But I was thinking there was four things. Yeah, and ultimately the fourth one is Atmanivedanam. We give our life. So these things are there. And Prabhupada did mention about organization and intelligence, intelligently organized. Otherwise, things will just dissipate. The tendency is, this is Maya's kingdom. Remember Prabhupada first came to London in 1969. I was there. Mother Malati was also there. And when Prabhupada first spoke, Janaki, Mukunda's wife, she said to Prabhupada, "You're so wonderful," in an emotional, feminine voice. She said, "Prabhupada, you're so wonderful, you want to save the whole world." And what did Prabhupada say? Do you remember? No. He said, "Yes, but it's not an easy job because this is Maya's kingdom. The default position is Maya. Everybody's in Maya." Some of the devotees were saying, "Prabhupada, I don't like to go out because sometimes I fall in Maya." And Prabhupada responded by saying, "You're always in Maya. Sometimes you fall in Krishna." So we don't have to fall in Maya. Maya is right there, like our eyelid is right next to us. Therefore, we have to always be alert to how to serve, how to please Srila Prabhupada. And he's not difficult to please. But he's quite congenial person, very friendly. When I first came, I was introduced to Prabhupada, and as a bhakta in 22nd Avenue it was, by Burjan. Maybe you know him. He's a wonderful devotee, still active. So I was introduced to him. I didn't say anything, hadn't done anything. And what did Prabhupada say? "Thank you very much." Just because I was there, he was thanking us. But that was Prabhupada's mood. He threw a big net. He wanted everybody to come. He didn't even tell the devotees in the beginning about the rules and regulations. He got them to chant Hare Krishna and take prasadam. And then gradually, they were asking, "Well, aren't there any rules?" And so then he told them, "No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meeting." Of course, now we don't have to imitate Prabhupada. We should make it clear from the beginning. There's 4 principles of religion: cleanliness, austerity, mercy, truthfulness, and 4 principles of sinful life: illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. And they correspond. You lose the quality of mercy if you're killing animals or hiring people to kill animals so you can eat them. And each one corresponds. If you're taking intoxication, you can't perform austerity. You go, "Oh, I'm high, I'm fine, I feel fine." Yeah. No, we have to be determined. We're not fine. Like right here at the beach. Venice Beach. Who was a theologian? Is he still active? I think he was from Texas. I think so. He would, on the morning walks, and he would often speak with Prabhupada. He had a theology degree from the university. So he said to Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, a new book has come out by a theologian, a Mexican theologian. And the name of the book is, I'm okay, you're okay. So Prabhupada stopped, he turned, he said, no, I'm okay, you're not okay. So that was Prabhupada's position. He was okay because he was fully Krishna conscious. So we're partially okay, but we're still struggling. At least I'm still struggling. I don't claim to be at that highest level, but I'm confident I can get to that by Prabhupada's mercy, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Why can't we achieve that goal of pure devotion? No hankering. Even in a dream, nirapeksha, there's a word that means, even in a dream you won't see any sinful desires. Desires are there. Therefore, this chanting is like cleansing the heart of all these impure devotees, pure desires. I remember once we were in Vrindavan, and I had an assistant, Shatadanya. He wrote a letter to Prabhupada saying, the more I'm big chanting now, but sometimes the more I chant, I see the more dirty things that in my heart. I didn't even know were there. And Prabhupada wrote back, yes, you have noticed the first symptom. It's like when you're cleaning a room, it may not look dirty, but you're cleaning, and the more dirt is coming than you imagine. Where's all this? So the same way, we're cleaning the heart, and then Prabhupada said in the letter, go on with the chanting, and gradually you'll be cleansed of all these impurities. So we all should feel very optimistic. The future is bright, but we have to keep the process. We have to strictly follow. When he was leaving, he told us, little things, strictly follow. But it's not so easy. Why they all fell down? Here, the same reason, right? The sex life. Sex life is the highest pleasure in the material world. Everybody knows that. And Devahuti experienced that pleasure, but still she wasn't feeling satisfied. Her husband was going away. Why should she? She got the pleasure. Why that should be enough? No, because the nature of lust, it's never satisfied. Burns like fire, always wants more. Greed the same way. The billionaires, they want more. They're not thinking, okay, now I made enough money, I can retire. No, more, more, more. So this is material life. It will never satisfy. That's the fact. Therefore, they're singing the most popular song, Rolling Stones. What is it? I can't get no satisfaction, but I try and I try and I try. And why do people like that song? Because then they feel that I'm normal, because everybody's singing the same song and everybody's feeling dissatisfied. So misery likes company. We're dissatisfied, so we see others are dissatisfied, then we feel we're normal. And this is the normal condition for the material world. A place of misery, dukkhalayam, certified by Krishna, full of misery. Therefore, back home, back to Godhead. We have to be determined. And at the same time, what does Rupa Goswami said? Atal Shraddha. Have that faith. Then that faith entails, I'm forgetting the verse, but Anartha-nivritti, Nishtha, Ashakti, no, Ruchi. That's right. Thank you. So there's a scientific method how we can progress. First thing, we associate with devotees, which you're all doing. Then we follow the process of devotion, like they're doing. They're chanting, I'm also chanting. Then gradually, we start losing our bad habits. Then we come to the point of nishtha. But that may take a while. For most people, it may take lifetimes. Nishtha means you're fully satisfied in yourself. You could be, okay, so that self-description is there. Satisfied in oneself. Can we be satisfied in ourselves? Yes. Because wherever we go, we can chant Hare Krishna. So what is the difficulty? The difficulty is that we're lazy, or we procrastinate, or we we still maintain attachment to material things, the 10th offense. And because of those attachments, our progress is slow. But don't be discouraged. Go on. It was what Winston Churchill said. When you're going through hell, keep going. So we may have run into difficulty, but keep going. We've come to the right place. And association with devotees is very valuable. Therefore, I was happy to come back to Los Angeles after a long time. Meet great devotees like Amala Bhakta Maharaj, who I first met before I was a devotee. He was a yoga teacher and in charge of all the students in New York City. And I came to his ashram, and he had some boys there, and he was the leader. And then by chance, I became a devotee, and he also became a devotee. So we met, again, at Prabhupada's feet. So from every position, if we get Prabhupada's association, that's required. I don't think I read this purport, right? Let me do that. Report. The association of a saintly person in any way bears the same result. For example, Lord Krishna met many kinds of living entities, and some treated him as an enemy, and some treated him as an agent for sense gratification. It is generally said that the gopis were attached to Krishna for sense attachment, yet they became first-class devotees of the Lord. Kamsa, Sishupal, Dantavaka, and other demons, however, were related to Krishna as enemies. But whether they associated with Krishna as enemies or for sense gratification, out of fear or as a pure devotee, they all got liberation. That is the result of association with the Lord. Even if one does not understand who he is, the results have the same efficacy. Association with a great saintly person also results in liberation, just as whether one goes towards fire, knowingly or unknowingly, the fire will make one warm. Devahuti expressed her gratitude, for although she wanted to associate with Kadamba only for sense gratification, because he was spiritually great, she was sure to be liberated by his benediction. And what benediction he gave her? The Supreme Personality of Godhead as her son, Kapila. So she got a wonderful benediction, and we should read that. It's coming here in the Bhagavatam, the exchange between Kapila and Devahuti. Wonderful exchange there. We can all learn how to question the Lord or the Guru. Okay, any questions? I could speak more, maybe some experiences I had with Prabhupada personally, because we see how important this association is. I've written a book on that. Maybe some of you have it, because we distributed some of you. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Reading the works of a pure devotee, that the bad feelings or bad thoughts or bad ideas will just go away by themselves. That's not the way it works. The taste goes away. The bad taste goes away. And as a result of losing the bad taste, what happens? It's replaced by a good taste, a better taste, a higher taste, a greater taste.
Param Jista Navartite. Param Jista Navartite. We have to get a higher taste.
Yeah, higher taste. So that's what happens. The taste gets higher. It just doesn't go away. But as your taste gets higher, you go for a higher type of...
Just like nobody's attached to eating hamburgers because we have prasadam. It's so much better, right? Healthier in every way. So nobody's tempted, I'm going to go to McDonald's and buy a hamburger. Because if we higher taste, that's the point you're making. We have to get a higher taste.
Yeah, the desire for something higher takes place of the desire for something lower.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, you mentioned that Srila Prabhupada is a Sakavesh avatar, and I understand, like, in Prabhupada's Nectar of Instruction, that he's a Mahabhagavata. He makes that clear about himself. But how do we know that Prabhupada is a Sakavesh avatar? We know he did many great things, but is there a specific?
Okay, so one of the sources of that is that his godbrother, Sridhar Maharaj, he said that Prabhupada was Shaktavesh. Otherwise, how could he do what he did single-handedly all over the world? But he was empowered to do that, empowered by Lord Nityananda. He spoke like that. Otherwise, in the Shastra, I don't know if we can prove it. I've heard there's some blowback. People don't like that we're saying like that, but maybe we should. What's your advice?
Like the disciple succession, for example, is everybody in the disciple succession a Shakavash avatar, or some are and some aren't? Like Srila Bhakti Sananta did many great things too. So is he a Shakavash avatar, or is it just specific individuals? I'm just trying to understand the concept. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we know for sure there was Parsuram was the Shaktavesh. He was a Brahmin, but then the Lord empowered him so he could kill the Kshatriyas. He killed so many Kshatriyas. And then again, when he met Lord Rama, his Shaktavesh left him. He became a simple Brahmin again. Of course, simple Brahmin is not so easy. In other words, he gave up his Kshatriya mood of challenging the Kshatriyas. Yes?
I heard one time that there was one devotee, actually Srila Prabhupada said Hitler was an avatar. How did he say? He was Satyavesh. And then the devotee was, what? It's almost like he was kind of bewildered. And then Prabhupada gave the answer that Satyavesh avatar doesn't necessarily mean, I'm sorry. He says, anyone who is empowered, that's what I wanted to say. Anyone who is empowered, so it doesn't necessarily mean that someone who's going to do good. Like in the case of Hitler, he did something very powerful, might not be good, but it was a sign like Satyavesh. Does that help? I just thought.
I couldn't quite follow, so I don't know if it helps. Does it help?
Hare Krishna. I think we're making a bigger deal of that term than we should. Shakti means power. Avesh means it's given to a particular living entity. The direct expansions of the Lord are obviously empowered because they're the Lord himself. But it may not be so obvious that a particular living entity is empowered. But when you look at it on a broad platform, every living entity is empowered. Can you do what a mosquito can do? Can you do what a blue whale can do? So in one sense, every living entity is specifically empowered to do something. So Prabhupada was specifically empowered to spread Lord Chaitanya's movement. There's no doubt about that. So where is there any need of discussion? He was specifically empowered to do that particular service for the Lord. As you said, you quoted, he said that Lord Chaitanya gave him the opportunity, so we should glorify him.
Yeah.
So there's no need for any big debate on that point. Shakti Avesh, a living entity who is specifically empowered to do a particular, and it's stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that without being empowered, you cannot spread Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada would quote that verse many times. Without being specifically empowered, one cannot spread Krishna consciousness. So obviously he spread Krishna consciousness, so he's specifically empowered.
Yeah. Very good. Anyone else?
In regard to empowerment, it's not just that we get empowerment. Sometimes a person, due to his bad qualities, bad activities, or wrong thoughts, his empowerment that he had starts to go down. He starts to lose it. However, we should all understand that Krishna is in charge of all power. And if we realize that some of our power has gone down, we're not as potent, we're not as persuasive as we were before, we're not as pervasive as before, that we're not making a real big hit on people's minds, then we can pray, and we can pray hard. Please, Lord, I have made mistakes, I've made wrongs, I've done this and that, I've gone against, and I beg for forgiveness. I pray that I never do those things again, and I pray that you give me the ability to spread this wonderful Krishna consciousness again as you once allowed me to.
That's nice.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Maharaj.
Very good.
Just one point, a small thing with regards to Shaktavesh avatar. So everything everybody has said is correct, but maybe they said this and I didn't catch it. There is a detail that the empowerment from the Lord to do something that no one else had previously accomplished. So what distinguished Srila Prabhupada from the previous acharyas is that he actually, as mentioned, spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. He took it outside of India because at that time India was, in the minds of many, the world. But the world was greater. First, Bhaktivinoda envisioned this, passed it on to his son who helped in that attempt, and then Srila Prabhupada took it forward, doing something that no one else previous acharya had done. And that is what qualifies him as Shaktavesh avatar.
I agree. I think Prabhupada is Shaktavesh, empowered. He's not an ordinary living entity. But he's not God. We learned that, right, from the sannyasis who started preaching Prabhupada was God. And he's not the only guru, or he's not, he can't, Srila Prabhupada cannot create Dharma. It's already there. Dharma tu shakshat bhagavat pranitan. Dharma is coming from God. Therefore, these Rikviks who say that now Prabhupada is the last guru, he stopped this parampara. No, Prabhupada doesn't have that power. That comes from God. Dharma tu shakshat Bhagavan. Prabhupada's not Bhagavan. I think he's Shaktavesh, but we should confront these Rikviks. Why are they saying that Prabhupada is going to be the guru for everybody for the next 10,000 years? Prabhupada never said that. He was going to take every new devotee who was coming, he's going to take their karma, he's going to instruct them. No. He told us. He named people's names who should. The problem is, many of those names he named, they fell down. And so people changed the philosophy. Prabhupada is the last guru. Krishna came to reestablish parampara, but they're saying Prabhupada came to stop parampara. What is that? Parampara is going. This is mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion. But we shouldn't think we're at the same level as Prabhupada. We should understand that Prabhupada was empowered, and we're just assisting him. But still, we have disciples. Parampara doesn't stop. Okay? Any challenges on that point? The Rikviks is very prominent some places. In India, they're making the biggest temple in the world in Vrindavan. What's his name? I don't know his name.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Maharaj. The point I usually make to the Ritviks is this, that Krishna consciousness is a personal. In other words, you approach a guru and he or she decides to accept you or not. If you take this Ritvik path and you make it impersonal, then the person doesn't have a chance to not accept you. If you're just taking initiation from a picture or a murti,
and
then there's no chance
of a chance to decide whether he wants you or not.
Exactly. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta made that point, that the guru is analyzing the prospective disciple and vice versa. Yeah. It's a personal connection. So if you go down this Ritvik path, then why stop at Prabhupada? Why not take initiation from Bhaktisiddhanta or Rupa Goswami? Yeah, so it just doesn't work. There has to be that personal connection where the person can reject you if they feel like it.
Very good point. Okay? Any other points or questions? Was Say again?
That Prabhupada would have said that if you knew who I am, you would have fainted.
Yeah, because he's probably like Subal, a cowherd boy, very close to Krishna. That's a very exalted, right? But he's not God. And he's not in the power to change the parampara. That's the point I'm making. Only God can give it. That's why we ridicule the Scientologist people and so on. They're making their own religion. These Rikfiks are making their own religion. That Prabhupada is going to be initiating everybody. No other person in our parampara has ever done that. So why not? Why do you think Prabhupada would do it? Without making it clear to us. He could, if he's in the last days, we were there with him. He could have told us, now when I leave, everybody should read my books and they'll become my disciples and I'll initiate them. He didn't say anything like that. He pointed people. These people will give Diksha. And if you read the conversation books, in October 28th, I think it is, the question came practical. There was a gentleman there, a Bengali gentleman, who wanted to be initiated. And Prabhupada said, in this condition, I shouldn't do it. You can read in the conversation books. And Tamal, his secretary, very intelligently said, stop what? Prabhupada said, I should stop. Stop what, Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, this initiating. Prabhupada stopped initiating on October 28th, 1977, very clearly. And the devotees were there, Bhagavan was there, Giriraj was there, Tamal was there, and they made it clear. And then he said, I've deputed some of you to do this service. So Jayapataka can do if he wants. Again, he said, if he wants. The Guru has to want to initiate you. That this was proven Ekalavya. He wanted to have Dronacharya as his Guru. He made a murti of Dronacharya. What did Dronacharya do? Took his thumbs for Dakshin. He was angry with him. You can't just oblige me to become your Guru. They're obliging Prabhupada. You should be my Guru. Prabhupada, he has to decide. And from all evidence I see, he hasn't decided to be the Guru for everybody for the next, how many, rest of the Kali Yuga or what? How long is they're going to have Prabhupada as a Guru? It's foolish. But there are a lot of people buy into it. Mainly it's a reaction to the fact that some of the Gurus fell down. Then they can say, Prabhupada couldn't have done that. He couldn't have chosen these people and then had them fall down. But that's their free will. They fell down because they disobeyed Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, strictly follow. They didn't strictly follow. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.